Hello, this is Survival-gyver, and today we're taking a look at the, I don't know how to pronounce this, Banral, B-A-N-R-A-L, flashlights. I said lights because there are two inside the case. And we're going to go over them. They're actually not bad. So they come in this, they call it leather, but it's a carbon fibered style. It's not carbon fiber. It's just styling carbon fiber, kind of like a vinyl. Almost like a hard. It's relatively hard. It's not a soft case, but it's not bad. Here's what it says on this side. If you can read that, I don't know if you can. New Banral brand concept. Experience quality goods and services. Enjoy a better life. If you have any questions or questions, please contact the After Sales Made in China. The SKU number here, X0048K 31V9, Banral LED light. Because I can't tell if it's blurry on the screen or not. Because I can't even see it, so I'm just kind of guessing where the camera is. So the case isn't too bad. Zipper works, tiny little zipper. I don't see any names or anything on it. But for the price, I think this was like $22 for the set. You open it up. I have it upside down apparently. It comes with two lights, instruction manual, and there is definitely a translation issue with it, so we'll figure that out as we go through it, right? And it comes with two charging cables, which are USB-A to Type-C. So that's pretty good, right? Now, to charge these, again, it's Type-C, and it's off the back here. When it's charging, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. When it charges, the lights in the front start off as red, and when it's fully charged, it'll be green. So that's kind of cool. They do tell you in the instructions, and I'll show you in a little bit, that you cannot keep this on charge. Once it's fully charged, unplug it. I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but I am assuming that either it's going to kill the life of the battery or the battery is going to get hot. Like the charge circuit may not be as good as it should be, maybe. But then again, it is a cheap flashlight. And there's two of them for that matter in this case. Now, these do come in multiple colors. And actually, unfortunately, when I bought this one, this set, I only saw black available. And then after I bought it, I found a link to a gold color, like a dark red, a dark blue, and I think the other one's a dark green. Let me see if it's in my notes here. Come on, you can tell me what it is? Yeah, hunter green. But the black looks pretty classy, so I'll stick with the black. Interesting enough, the black ones are currently on sale for about $22 or so on Amazon, because I'm looking at the Amazon listing right now. And the other ones, the gold, the red, the blue, and the green, are $33 for the same light. So you're just paying an extra $10 or $11 for a different color. So that kind of stinks, but it is what it is, right? So, what is interesting about these? Well, they do have lithium-ion batteries in it because they are rechargeable, right? They are relatively brand new to the market. They came out earlier this year, or really late last year. And I like them because they're different than all the other flashlights they have. They just look different. The whole case is aluminum. There is quite a bit of plastic, like this chrome on the front here is plastic. And it's got a little diffuser for the side light, and it's got a front light, single cob style light. Magnet on the back, which is, let's see if I can show you the camera here. So I'm not holding it, it's actually stuck to the thing that holds the camera up, the stand for that. Now this is Banral, I don't know, come on, focus, K2309C, light your way. But when I look up that part number, it comes up as a completely different flashlight. So I don't know. It's interesting. It does have a pocket clip on it, which is low tension, by the way. I don't know if you can see that. That's really easy to move. It is definitely low tension. And it has a nifty little trick where you can see where it says hot and then it says coma. because it extends. So you can actually zoom with it, which is kind of cool. But there is a little bit of quality issues here, but then again, it is a cheap flashlight. Because remember, you're getting a decent case, 2 flashlights, and 2 cables for $20 to $30. And at least the case is pretty decent. It's pretty, maybe 6 ounces. I mean, it's not light, but it's not heavy either. And the lighting on it is also interesting because there is nothing that tells me what the lumens on this are, or the time that it'll last. They do give me a max of 1500 meters, which tells me that it's rated to probably close to 2000 lumens, although I disagree. Maybe 2000 lumens together with both flashlights. And by the way, both flashlights are the same, mostly. So, and I say mostly because oddly enough, the magnets are north and south, and they're a decent. It's a decent magnet. I love flashlights that have good magnets on them, because this way you can stick them onto things. But there's a problem. One of these has got a little less quality control than the other one, and I think it's this one. Yeah, it's that one. And it looks like they knew it because they put some kind of oil or grease on this one, and I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, it's not. There's a little bit right on the track there, but this one sounds solid and this one sounds loose. Yeah. Alright, so clearly I've been playing with these a little too much. Also, I am noticing this one's damaged. That could be for me. This is the one that I've been testing. The one that's already been screwed up was the one I was testing. Let's see if I could show you. Do you see that? Do you see where this comes up here? It's warped. If I can try to line that up again, it's a little warped there. It's not flat across. So I don't know if it's maybe they tightened it too much or the battery on that one was overcharged, because I did have it on charge for like 24 hours. I plugged it in, walked away, and came back the next day like, ooh, I gotta unplug it. So that's probably my doing. But it is what it is, right? So, not counting me probably screwing up the charging, let's take a look at what we got here. So, you can probably tell there's a whole line of LEDs on the inside here. I'm not going to count them for you. Not because I'm lazy, but I can't see them all. But we got that and that, right? So, 2 switches. There's an on button and there's a cob button, which is weird because they're both cob LEDs, but the one that says cob is for the side light, and the on button is one for the front. There are 4 modes in the front, and there are 4 modes on the side. Let me get this out of the way so this can try to focus a little bit better. Now, there's no information about how long the battery will last in different circumstances. You know, if it was fully charged, how long can you leave the thing on for? There's a little bit of information, I should say, but there's very little. Let me see if I have it on here. Alright, looks like the only information is when you put it on red and blue strobe, it'll last about 24 hours. And that's on the side light, and I'll show you that in a little bit. To give you some specifications, it's 1.18 inches wide. It's about 5.31 inches long, not counting extending it, about half an inch. Alright. So we'll start off with this one that makes noise, and I'll show you what makes the noise. And I haven't quite figured out how to fix that. I have an idea, but I also don't want to break it. So there's that, right? Alright, so let's go. I'm just scrolling through my notes to find the other ones because I'm doing like 18 different videos tonight. Alright, so this one, that noise you hear, is the inner piece of metal around the lens. The lens itself makes noise because it's loose. So Yeah, so if I put my finger on the lens, the noise goes away. So the lens is loose on this one. And I can't figure out how to tighten that up. There's got to be some way. I probably have to put a tool in to squish this, outwards, to give friction, and then try to screw it out that way, I think. But, it is what it is. But otherwise, it's comfortable in the hand. You could use like a really big flashlight. Beam pattern is decent. It's got a nice crisp it's got a nice crisp bullseye. That's what I'm trying to think of. I'm tired. My apologies. And pinpoint or a zoom is actually, it's quite hot. But it's tiny, so you can see it's a pretty decent bullseye, but there's a halo around it. You can see it kind of there when I put hand off to the side. So there's that. You can focus a little bit if you fiddle with it. Again, this is the one that's got the lens on it that's loose, so it's going to be out of focus a little bit anyway. But that's not so bad, right? Now remember, that's just the side light. You can see where it says Cobb. Both are glowing green because it's fully charged. I just blasted myself in the eyes by accident. That's wonderful. So let's see what we got next. So now we have medium. We have strobe. And we have SOS. Alright, so and that's all from the front button. The side button controls this. If I turn that on, you get that, which is an okay side light. Then you can get just quarter red or half red. So it's definitely red. It's just hard to see with the light, I think, on that I have up here. If I hit the button again, I get red-blue flash. That's interesting. It only goes to red-blue flash. Not halfway. There we go. I guess red then blue. White, red, blue, strobe. Well, that's weird. Alright. When I was testing it, I only got red and blue, and then the other one was an SOS of red. I wonder if the other one's different. Let me see. White, which is quite a bit brighter. More of like an area light. Red. Blue. Red and blue. I guess I'm confusing it with something else. This one sounds much better, though. It does rattle a little back and forth. This one is actually quite warm now. It rattles quite a bit more. But for a 2-pack, it's not bad, right? So, yeah, they're pretty bright. I wouldn't quite call them 2000. They're probably in the 1,800 to 1,000 range. I'm also really close to the ground here, to this panel here. But, yeah, that's not so bad. Kind of cool. I'm not used to having 2 identical flashlights to play with. Clearly I don't do that very often. Alright, anyway. Now, if you get onto a mode that you don't like, you can press and hold for 3 seconds and it'll turn off. You don't have to go through all the other settings. But yeah, be careful charging them because that caught me off guard. I keep forgetting that there's a really strong magnet on these. If it came down to throwing these out, I would probably take them apart for the magnets and the case. I'm sure I can find some kind of use for the case or make my own kind of flashlight, but the magnets are really strong. So that might be something usable there. The case is not bad. It's not something I'd write home about. It's, it is a cheaper case. It's not leather, of course, but then again, there's a price point they're trying to reach. I'm having a hard time keeping them from getting stuck to each other, so let me go flip them backwards to each other. Alright. So let's take a look at this lovely pamphlet here. Rechargeable flashlight manual. Please read the manual carefully. Before using a rechargeable flashlight, please follow safety and operation instructions to avoid potential risk. Now, it's a flashlight. What kind of risk could you get? It gives you some information that it's a long beam LED. Doesn't give you really anything else about it. Charge time is 4 hours. The website says 3 hours. In my experience, it's about 2.5 hours. So figure 3, right? It's aluminum alloy. It's got a high lumen feature, dual power button, which is true, long throw beam, stepless turn-off function, strong magnetic base. At least the magnet part's correct, right? There's some interesting warnings, and I'm assuming, absolutely assuming, it's a translation issue. In use, when the brightness of the flashlight changes significantly, turn off the flashlight to prevent the battery from being over-discharged and timely charged. Pay attention to the battery's waterproof, moisture-proof, anti-drop, etc. according to the charging speed of the charger when charging. After the indicator light changes, remove it in time. Do not overcharge. And I agree, don't overcharge it, because I think that's the reason why that one's bulging. For batteries that are not used for a long time, the battery should be fully charged and stored, and then charged and discharged once every 3 months to avoid chemical corrosion. Now, I don't know why you'd want to charge it when it's already fully charged, but unless they're figuring it's going to discharge in the meantime, it's possible. The inner wall of the lamp cup is kept clean. Never wipe it with your hand or hard object, which you already see me do that. Cleaning it with my hand. Remove the fingerprint on the lens and wipe gently with a cotton swab and lens cleaner. That's fine. I got no problem with that. That's actually how you're supposed to treat a flashlight. You're not supposed to touch the lens. Do not touch the flashlight with sunlight, water, chemicals, and corrosive gases for a long time to avoid damage to the flashlight. I'm sorry, but a flashlight is a pocket sun. I understand the reason why to keep it out of sunlight, though, is probably to prevent the battery from overheating. Now, my understanding is it does have some kind of circuit protection to prevent an overheating issue. But it also doesn't suggest that in the manual. So, do not touch the flashlight with sunlight. So, this is only a flashlight for vampires, alright? That's what it seems to be. Non-professionals should not disassemble the flashlight to prevent damage to the circuit board. Now, that's true. I'm not a professional and I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm going to eventually. Please confirm the following items are in the package. They do sell them as an individual flashlight or a 2-pack. When I bought mine, the 2-pack was cheaper than the single one. I think it's because it was a new product on the market and they've said, hey, we'll make it a deal. That one will be cheaper than that one. That's fine. Alright. They talk about the main switch, the cob switch button, which is interesting because the cob switch button is pointing to, looking at the very end it looks like, but it shows for that one. So the switch button's diagram's in the wrong place. Again, it's probably a translation issue. Right? Here it says about charging. Green is the power sufficient or fully charged. Red is the power is low or charging. So when it's fully charged, it'll be green. Do not charge the flashlight in high temperature environment, on a hot raft or near a stove. Again, that's to prevent the battery from exploding. Also, this is an odd one, and avoid placing it in a soot-steamed environment. Soot-steamed. Coal mine, maybe? I don't know on that one. Maybe they're talking about soot-steamed. Maybe don't use it in the fire department because it'll probably get too hot. Going into a burning building kind of thing. I am not sure on that one. That's definitely an odd one. Do not charge the flashlight in a low temperature environment less than minus 10 degrees centigrade. So below 0 Fahrenheit. Because 0, 0, right? So that's below that. And that makes some kind of sense. I guess they're worried about it degassing. Do not use the flashlight while charging. It will work while charging, but it will get very hot. I'm going to warn you on that. It will. So, not so bad otherwise. Again, it's probably a translation issue. But I do like that it comes with 2 cords. And of course, you don't have to leave the flashlights in here. You could put other stuff in here like a sewing kit or, I don't know, gun cleaning kit, a pew-pew gun cleaning kit. I can't say gun. I'm not allowed to say that. Maybe a knife cleaning kit. You have options with it. So it's decent. This is probably not the best connection there in the center, because it's just a little bit of canvas material, but it's not bad otherwise. So that, my friends, is the Banral, I don't know how to pronounce it, powerful dual switch LED magnetic flashlights. Right? So it's not bad. Now I've only had this for a month and a half, and I've dropped them. I've overcharged the one. As a cheap set of disposable flashlights, that might be fine for most people. I do like that it's a strong magnet. I'm not a fan of all the strobe functions. It is what it is. Quality on it is a little bit low, but then again, that might be my fault. All right. Remember, I do test them. I do bring them to a warehouse facility, and they get thrown around between employees, coworkers. Throw them at walls sometimes. Drop them from high distances. With the strong magnet on this, we actually got it stuck to the roof. It's a metal roof building. We got it stuck to one of the rafters, and we had to go up in a cherry picker and get it down. And that was just about the limit of the cherry picker, so that was a little scary. I was just about to leave it up there, and somebody had, I have an idea. Let's bring a broomstick on the top of the cherry picker and knock the thing down, and that's what we did. But, ask you, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? So, other than that, it's not bad. I mean, the case in itself, it's not bad. You can see how it doesn't always close completely, but it's not bad. But that's it. Questions or comments, leave it below, and I will answer them as best I can. Again, there's no rating on it. It says maybe 2,000 lumens, because it's 1,500 max, but it's definitely not 2,000 lumens. It's probably close to 1,000 each. The low or medium range, whatever you want to call it, is probably close to 500, maybe, in comparison to the other flashlights that I have. And of course, it has all those extra strobe functions, SOS, things of that nature, which I find relatively useless. But I guess the more functions a flashlight has, the better somebody will buy it. I bought them because they look kind of cool. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Questions, comments, leave them below, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Other than that, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching.